What if the people who betrayed you,
sold you, and ruined your life,
were the very ones you'd later have the power to destroy?
and instead of revenge, you chose forgiveness? Today, we're diving into one of history's most shocking true stories: jealousy, betrayal, slavery, false accusation, and a redemption so powerful it still shapes how millions understand suffering and purpose. This is the story of Joseph and his brothers. Joseph grew up in a family already fractured. Jacob had 12 sons, but everyone knew Joseph was the favorite.
While his brothers worked the fields, Joseph wore a beautiful, multicolored coat his father had specially made for him.
It wasn't just clothing, it was a public declaration of preference. Joseph didn't help his case.
He reported his brothers' mistakes to their father. Then he shared his dreams.
In one, his brothers' sheaves of grain bowed to his. In another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed before him. Even Jacob was unsettled, though he quietly wondered if the dreams meant something more. The brothers, however, were furious.
One day, when Joseph was sent to check on them in the fields, they saw him coming and their resentment boiled over.
"Here comes the dreamer," they said. "Let's kill him and see what becomes of his dreams." Instead, they stripped him of his coat and threw him into an empty pit, cold, dark, and hopeless. Reuben planned to rescue him later, but before he could, a merchant caravan passed by. Judah spoke up. "What profit is there in killing our brother?
Let's sell him instead." And just like that, Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver.
They dipped his coat in blood and showed it to their father. Jacob believed Joseph was dead. He mourned for days, inconsolable. Meanwhile, Joseph disappeared into slavery.
In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, a high-ranking official.
Despite everything, Joseph worked with discipline and integrity.
Potiphar noticed and placed him over his entire household.
Everything Joseph touched seemed to prosper, but success brought danger.
Potiphar's wife became obsessed with him and tried repeatedly to seduce him.
Joseph refused, saying he could not betray his master or violate his own conscience. One day, she grabbed his cloak as he fled.
Then she accused him of assault.
Joseph was thrown into prison, innocent, voiceless, forgotten.
Yet even there, he didn't become bitter.
The prison warden noticed his character and gave him responsibility. Joseph's ability to interpret dreams soon became clear when he accurately explained the dreams of 2 fellow prisoners. Joseph asked only one thing in return: "Remember me." He was forgotten for 2 years.
Then Pharaoh dreamed.
Cows devouring cows, grain consuming grain.
No one could explain it. Suddenly, the cupbearer remembered Joseph.
Joseph was brought before Pharaoh, calm, grounded, honest. He interpreted the dreams as a warning: 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine.
Then he did something bold.
He offered a solution.
Pharaoh didn't hesitate.
In a single day, Joseph was elevated from prisoner to prime minister, second only to Pharaoh himself. The dreamer had risen. When the famine spread beyond Egypt, Joseph's brothers came seeking food.
They bowed before the Egyptian official in charge of the grain.
They didn't recognize him. Joseph recognized everything. This was the moment he had waited for. Revenge would have been easy. Instead, he tested them. He accused them, demanded their youngest brother, and later framed that brother for theft.
Then Judah stepped forward.
The same brother who had once suggested selling Joseph now begged to take Benjamin's place, not out of fear, but out of love for their father, who could not survive losing another son.
That's when Joseph broke. He wept openly and said, "I am Joseph, the brother you sold into Egypt." They were terrified. But Joseph said something extraordinary. "Do not be afraid. You intended to harm me, but it was used for good to preserve life." He didn't deny the betrayal.
He transcended it. Joseph chose forgiveness, not because his brothers deserved it, but because he refused to let his pain define him.
He invited his family to live in Egypt, where they were preserved through the famine and became a great nation.
This is why the story still matters. Most of us won't be sold into slavery, but many of us will be betrayed by family, by friends, by people we trusted. Joseph's story doesn't tell us that suffering is good.
It tells us that suffering can be transformed. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past.
It reclaims the future.
You can't control what others do to you, but you can control what kind of person you become. And sometimes the chapter that breaks you is the one that prepares you for your greatest purpose. Your current chapter isn't the end of the story.